Thank you for joining me this afternoon. The time is currently 3:26 p.m. Central, and you have a live look at a tornado-warned storm near Michigan City, Indiana. This storm is a rotating supercell capable of producing a tornado at any second, so if you're included in this warning, make sure that you are getting on the lowest floor of a building, away from windows, in an interior room, because that's a very dangerous storm. In addition to that, we have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings across the United States right now. We also have one here on the Illinois-Indiana border that's very close to producing a tornado warning as well because of its rapidly increasing rotation here as it approaches the Terre Haute area. All right, so we're going to watch that one again. At the moment, that's just severe thunderstorm warned with the tornado possible tag, but we will continue to watch that as that evolves. We're going to be looking at many strong to severe storms today across parts of the Midwest, and then also another mode of storms here across parts of the mid-Atlantic United States that's going to bring the threat for damaging winds and large hail to a lot of the Carolinas, Virginias, that general vicinity. All right, so we do have several reports of damage already today. All right, we had some home damage here out of Effingham County, Illinois. All right, there were AC units blown off of a restaurant. We had some damage here near Hughley. We had a large tree limb down that was at least 10 inches in diameter. We did have a couple of tornado reports today out of portions of eastern Missouri. This was this morning, however. This was for the outbreak that continued after I ended stream last night. We did have a couple of brief weak spin-up tornadoes there in parts of eastern Missouri. But we do also have some damage here from Bloomington. This was this morning, all right? Tree limb down across roof of a home, picture from social media. So we got a lot of damage here already occurring from these storms, and things are going to continue here once again across portions of the Midwestern United States over the next few hours. Again, at the moment, I would honestly say the most concerning storm with any immediate tornado threat would be the one near Terre Haute in Indiana. This just crossed, or is just about to cross the Illinois-Indiana state line there, just to the south of state line on Interstate 70. So, again, we're going to watch that, see if a tornado warning does get issued with that. But, again, we also do have that tornado warning up by Michigan City. We do have a new velocity scan here I want to check out. And, yeah, that's continuing to rotate pretty well. So, again, if you're in Terre Haute, make sure that you are getting indoors. This storm does now have the tornado possible tag on it. And it honestly would not surprise me if a tornado warning were to get issued with that here relatively soon. We do have an enhanced risk of severe weather today, and this is actually driven by the threat for strong tornadoes. If you are in that yellow area, you have a 10% chance to see a strong, damaging tornado in your town today. That includes portions of Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio. So it is a very Midwestern threat today along the Ohio River here. We're going to continue to watch this very closely. We do have a pretty big tornado watch in effect here for millions of Americans right now. And here at the Weather House, I'm actually included in that, all right? So we're going to be watching for quite a bit of severe weather here over the next few hours. Once again, we do have several severe storms sweeping through southeastern Wisconsin. These are mainly going to bring the threat for some damaging winds and especially large hail, I would say. And by the way, new tornado warning has now been issued. This is for the extension for the storm that just moved through Michigan City. Now, areas like Springfield, Three Oaks, New Buffalo, Bridgman, all right, Berrien Springs. Make sure that you are taking shelter immediately on the lowest floor possible, away from windows in an interior room of a building. All right, this storm is also, it's had a history of producing tennis ball-sized hail, but it's also warned for lime-sized hail at the moment, so you got to look out for that for sure. So again, we're continuing to watch this storm as it approaches the Terre Haute area as well. Again, that's along Interstate 70 there. But yeah, the two most concerning storms that we have right now are going to be the one up here on the Indiana-Michigan border, and then the one near Terre Haute, and then also that cluster of storms in southeast Wisconsin is pretty intense as well. I would also like to point out, look at all of these severe weather reports that we have out of the Chicago area today. Chicago has gotten absolutely battered here, all right? We're talking golf ball-sized hail in some spots, some wind damage, all right? They got some pretty big-time storms here today. We have reports of gutter damage to homes, all right? It hit the Chicago area pretty hard, so luckily we did not have any sort of injuries reported from that or anything. There was no tornado up there per se, or actually there were, no, I do not believe there's been a tornado yet, other than the ones that we had like really early this morning. That would have technically been in yesterday's SPC Outlook though. And by the way, this is a first for this year, all right? We have the first ever heat advisories issued today for this year. So the 2024 summer season is getting going here. If we turn on, which setting would it be? Here we go, heat advisories. We see that we have heat advisories down here in South Texas. All right, we are talking about some spots getting temperatures, or heat index values rather, up to 113 degrees. That is just ridiculous for early May. I mean, guys, that's just crazy. And at the same time that we have heat advisories down in Texas, it's over 100 degrees, we got a blizzard going on in Montana. We've got blizzard warnings up here for portions of western and central Montana at the minute. So, yes, at the same time, we are talking about excessive heat and blizzards in the same country. Pretty interesting. And now that storm in Terre Haute has been tornado warned. So, again, if you're in Terre Haute or Brazil, Indiana, you need to seek shelter right now. Get to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. For some reason, my alert sounds still aren't working. It may have something to do with there's a new Radar Mega update, but I did not want to install that right now because I figured that might take a while, and I wanted to go live as soon as I got home. But yeah. I'm actually going to go ahead and call up my good friend, Mr. Storm here, and see if he can help me cover this severe weather. So I'm going to go ahead and ring him up right now. Again, that storm continues to rotate there near Terre Haute. I really think that one's rotating better than this one up here in Michigan now, near the New Buffalo area. But both those storms are definitely ones to watch. So again, if you're neither of those tornado warnings, make sure that you seek shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a building, away from windows, in an interior room. Again, there's your area of rotation off to the southwest of Terre Haute. And Mr. Storm did not pick up. That is okay. We can actually bring up some cyclone ports here. We got southwestern Michigan on the board there in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Also south central Wisconsin. All right, we got one to watch here. It was very torrential in that area earlier. There was a tornado warning in that region earlier, but now, again, those storms are just severe, no longer tornado warned. We do have Storm Chaser Brandon Kopic out there today for today's severe weather threat. Currently, he's centered around kind of an open field in Indiana. Out there in central/northern Indiana, kind of. So, I'm going to go ahead and bring up stream chat. So if you do have any questions about your location, make sure to leave those down below, because this is a very widespread event today. And it's going to continue into tomorrow. Tomorrow is actually looking like it's going to shape up to be even more intense than today. Today is kind of the leftovers from yesterday's massive severe weather event. But tomorrow is a whole new area of storms that's going to be impactful for a lot of people here along portions of the Ohio River, the Mississippi River. All right, areas that got hit over the past few days are going to have the chance to see severe weather again. Again, we have that enhanced risk tomorrow, and that is once again driven by a strong tornado threat, a 10% hatch risk for tornadoes. So we got to act a few days ahead of us, and then even all the way out to Thursday, we have a massive slight risk, guys. This may be one of the biggest slight risks of severe weather I've ever seen. It goes all the way from New Jersey to Texas, and that is a 2 out of 5 risk of severe weather across that entire area. I would not rely on an enhanced risk getting issued. If it did get issued, I would think it would be somewhere in here, across parts of Texas and Louisiana. But at the minute, they're just sticking with a slight risk for that event. So let's go back to our storms that we currently have. Again, the one near Terre Haute currently is the most concerning. And this is a very populated area. So if you're on this warning, make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a building away from windows. Alrighty. Also, fun fact, the storm that is now tornado warned by Terre Haute, that actually went through my area earlier. Everything is okay, but it's kind of scary. Kind of popped off, right after it went past us. And I've got more storms coming in here later this evening. We had a massive storm this morning. I posted a YouTube short about that. But that brought us, or I actually did not post that YouTube short. I don't know if I'm going to post it or not. We had some very gusty winds as well as some heavy rain for sure. I mean, it was torrential, guys, once again. Didn't see any hail or tornadoes or anything like that, but gusty, maybe 40 or 50 mile per hour winds did occur with that. There was a special weather statement just to the north of me for 50 mile per hour winds, so we definitely could have seen that as well, I would say. But yeah, it is stormy out there in the Midwest right now. So, kind of zooming back in here on some of our more concerning storms. Again, the one near Terre Haute, and then the other one near Berrien Springs. In Indiana and Michigan, respectively. Again, neither of them are rotating super crazily, but the one that is more impressive, I would say, it would have been the one near Terre Haute if you asked me a few scans ago, but that's since kind of died off here. I will say there's kind of still a little bit of a hook echo associated with this storm here, a pretty impressive one. Quite a bit of inflow, so we'll have to watch that very closely because this is the tornado hotspot for today. Once again, parts of Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, that's where we're really watching for the big-time tornado threat today. The reason I have strong tornado likely in the title is for those states in particular. So, if you're in any of those states today, make sure that you do have a tornado action plan in place. Know where you're going to go if there is a tornado warning or an actual tornado, or even just a destructive thunderstorm. Know what your plan is, for sure. Again, you want to get to an interior room away from windows, lowest floor possible. But yeah. So, let's see here. No new information quite yet. Again, if you're just now tuning in, we are watching a severe weather outbreak unfold right now across parts of the Midwest. Got multiple tornado warnings in effect across parts of Indiana and Michigan. The most concerning one being this storm here near Terre Haute, which again has developed a very impressive hook echo. And again, I mean, it's rotating there. Again, if you're in Terre Haute, make sure that you are getting to your tornado safe spot right now. Especially on the south side of town is where this is really sweeping through. The south side of the downtown area of Terre Haute there. Again, not too concerned about our storm up here in Michigan anymore, honestly. The tornado threat is very low with that storm at this point, but it will continue to produce damaging winds and large hail up to ping pong ball size. Quite possibly. So, again, do stay in your tornado safe spot. You're still under a tornado warning there in southwest Michigan, but yeah. We'll say very impressive band of storms that is leaving Wisconsin right now. The storms in Wisconsin, man, did they overperform today. I mean, again, we've had tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings up here, all for an area that had a marginal risk of severe weather. We've seen quite a bit of stuff up here in southern Wisconsin today. Again, even a few counties have that tornado watch there still, and more had them earlier. But yeah, areas like Kenosha, you're still under a tornado watch. Let's kind of talk here about some newer mesoscale discussions about some upcoming or even current weather threats right now. So you'll notice that we do have 3 mesoscales in effect. First one, portions of central and southern Texas monitoring for isolated very large hail potential. 40% chance of a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch being issued in that area between now and 4:30 p.m. Next one, additional supercell formation in line afternoon with increasing tornado threat into Indiana here. This is for our current tornado watch. That's until 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. And then we also have another mesoscale, actually, that is in effect for portions of eastern Indiana, southern Michigan, western Ohio, and north Kentucky. Additional tornado watches will be needed. All right, there's no question about it, saying they will be needed likely by 22Z, which would be about 11 p.m. Eastern. Or no, what am I talking about? That would be like 6 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. Eastern. I don't know. But that's valid until 6 p.m. Eastern. So look out for that for sure. Again, that is a continuation here for this area of storms that's just becoming very strong at this point, honestly. So, again, we're going to continue to watch our severe weather threats here that is currently unfolding. Again, the storm near Terre Haute is looking like it's rotating a decent bit. Now on the southeast side of Terre Haute, just give it a few more minutes and you'll be good to leave your safe place. But for the current time, we do request that you stay in there for a little bit. But yeah. By the way, the massive Barnesdall, Oklahoma tornado from last night has gotten a preliminary rating of EF3+. So that tornado is EF3 or higher. That's already confirmed. One fatality has been reported already. Search and rescue is still ongoing, unfortunately. And guys, that was just a massive tornado. Again, it received a tornado emergency. If you weren't tuning in last night, that was an insane stream. I highly recommend you watch that back. There were a few times that it got emotional, though, for a lot of people. And again, we already did have at least one tragedy with that fatality there. I mean, pretty much the entire town is gone, guys. I mean, it went right through Barnesdall. That was just awful, seeing that on radar, especially. Especially because it kind of popped up out of nowhere. Like, in 10 minutes, we went from an observed tornado warning to a tornado emergency, I'm pretty sure. Which is just absolutely crazy. Actually, I could have been wrong. I was basing that on stream times, and my stream times were a little inaccurate. But still, 20 minutes max, I would say. Went from an observed tornado warning to a tornado emergency, which is still pretty rapid intensification for a tornado to have. We do have an update to our storm in Terre Haute now. This is still just a radar-indicated tornado warning. But it has been upgraded now to ping pong bowl-sized hail. I believe it was just quarter-sized hail before. So again, if you're included in this warning, continue to seek shelter on the lowest floor of a building away from windows. Terre Haute, again, just a couple more minutes and you'll be good. I mean, it won't even be storming in a couple more minutes. I mean, because this is a very discrete supercell. You're not going to get much after this for at least a little bit. And that's actually why it was able to pop off, is because it's all alone. There's no other storm sucking the energy out of it. People think if there's only one storm, that means it's going to be weaker. But usually that does not end up being the case if you have severe weather, a severe weather environment. We have a storm here off to the east of Waterloo, Iowa that is actually rotating a little bit there as it heads up towards Independence. It is not currently tornado warning, but it does have a special weather statement on it. So if you're included in that warning, make sure that you are getting indoors immediately. 40-mile-per-hour winds, half-inch hail, and again, a little bit of rotation are all threats associated with that storm. I don't think this will become tornadic, though. The environment's just not really there for it. You'll kind of see this little isolated storm is actually only in the general thunderstorm risk. That's because all of the storm juice has kind of been sucked out of this area already. By the way, I think the reason they upgraded our Terre Haute storm to ping-pong ball-sized hail is because we did have multiple reports of quarter-sized hail all across parts of Terre Haute. One of them was sent in 5 minutes ago. The other was sent in 10 minutes ago. But yeah, that is, once again, now upgraded to ping-pong bowl-sized hail, heading for Sealyville. If you're in Terre Haute, you're good at this point. You guys aren't the concern. We're concerned about areas to the east of you. Brazil, again, continue to stay in your tornado safe spot. If you've not already gotten there, make sure to do that immediately. That needs to be your top priority right now as that tornadic thunderstorm approaches. Again, we do not have any confirmed tornadoes on the ground right now. We only had a few this morning in Missouri, and we have not had any in the main daylight hours of today thus far. I will say we have had 27 reports of hail of 1 inch or larger, and 9 reports of 60-mile-per-hour winds or higher, though, which is pretty intense, or wind damage. And by the way, a tennis ball-sized hail report has come out of this storm north of Michigan City 23 minutes ago. Now the alert sounds are working. What the heck? All right, new severe thunderstorm warning has now been issued. That's going to be for Pawpaw, Almena, Wayland. We've got a ton of huge cities included in that. That's off to the west of Kalamazoo, south of Grand Rapids. That includes portions of only 2 counties. Those are just big counties there, big chunky ones. So again, this is honestly a pretty impressive hook echo near Sealyville off to the east of Terre Haute. Again, this is in western Indiana. Again, we'll continue to watch this because, I mean, the instability is just incredible out here, you guys. I mean, you can see, southwest Michigan, south central Wisconsin, it is clear out, which is only going to make these storms stronger when they roll through those areas, if they haven't already. Obviously, south central Wisconsin's pretty much done at this point. You already got hit, but southwest Michigan, you got to watch out, I would say, over the next few hours. Again, you do have that tornado warning in effect right now in far southwestern Michigan. And our storm near Glen Eyre and Sealyville continues to be pretty intense here with its rotation in western Indiana off to the east of Terre Haute. Got a lot of contamination here, unfortunately, so we can't really see the velocities very well, but it looks like it could be rotating pretty decently, honestly. And we do have Storm Chaser Brandon Kopic out there right now. He did a huge search and rescue job out there last night in Oklahoma. He was a big part of things. He made national news quite a bit. And I mean, guys, he is just on the grind. A lot of the storm chasers after yesterday, they were like, nope, I'm done. We've been chasing for over a week now, every day straight. Brandon Kopic, he drove from Oklahoma all the way up to Indiana to chase this storm system today. Because there are some concerning discrete supercells out here. Like, seriously, guys, it's a threat. But yeah, huge shout out to Brandon Kopic. I mean, he is just a phenomenal storm chaser. One of the best ones out there in the country, I would say. One of the best in the world, I would say. A lot of other countries don't have storm chasers because there's not many storms to chase. The United States is definitely the tornado hotspot. But yeah.
I need to make a negotiation with you.
Mm-hmm.
You have nothing at school that I need to go see?
No.
Do you want to go to school?
No, thanks.
Okay. I will take Simon then if you will hang out with Simon at 5 o'clock whenever I go to the insurance office with your dad.
Okay.
Deal?
Deal. Right, so again, guys, there's your rotating storm now south of Sealyville, Indiana. Again, if you're in Sealyville, you need to run, not walk to your safe place. That's right on top of you. Again, decently impressive hook echo on that storm right now near Glen Eyre, or Glenar. We have a pretty potent line of storms actually in eastern Illinois right now. They're not line, but they're potent because they're discrete supercells actually. There's no storm stopping them. They're good to go, good to thrive out here in this environment, which is what makes them dangerous. Very dangerous indeed. And oh wow. Hold on, give me just a second here. Yeah, we do actually have another storm that's not even tornado warned, but it might get there. We have a few of them out there in eastern Illinois that are pretty dangerous. But the one I'm specifically mentioning is actually in my county. Oh, wow. I mean, that is a very scary storm, considering how close that is to me. I mean, that definitely could get tornado warned. And I just got a notification that lightning has been detected near my location. That makes a lot of sense. New severe thunderstorm warning has now been issued. That's going to be for parts of Iowa. That's for the storm that we mentioned earlier that was rotating. Oh, no, that's not that storm. Oh, yeah, it is. It just disappeared. That's for that storm. I believe that severe thunderstorm warning did actually have the tornado possible tag on it. Because, like we mentioned, I mean, it's spinning. Alright, it's not spinning like crazy, which is why they didn't immediately issue a tornado warning. Okay, so it doesn't have the tornado possible tag on it, but still 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1 inch hail if you're in Independence. Again, you should have already done this, but make sure that you're getting indoors immediately. Our tornado warning has once again been condensed out here in western Indiana. Now we've just got areas like Sealyville, Staunton, Turner, Brazil, Knightsville included in this. All these small towns off the east of Terre Haute here. Alright, so again, if you're just now tuning in, we are looking at a live tornado warning storm off to the east of Terre Haute, Indiana. If you're included in this tornado warning, you need to seek shelter immediately. I mean, again, that hook echo is just becoming pretty nasty, really. We'll have to watch that, for sure. Again, Sealyville, you're good at this point. It has moved past you. Now we're concerned about areas off to the east of Sealyville. Again, a few of these storms out here in southeastern Illinois are actually rotating pretty good. Got this one. None of them are actually tornado warned yet, but I mean, they're rotating pretty strongly. Got this one near Altamont. And again, you guys, obviously I don't want to give away my exact location, but I will say they are in my general vicinity, which is very interesting. By the way, our tornado warning in southwest Michigan is still ongoing here. I know we haven't updated this area for a while. That's just because it's really not that concerning anymore. At this point, it's damaging winds that we're watching with that storm, as well as large to very large hail possible. Again, the one with the higher tornado threat, though, is going to be down here near Brazil, Indiana, and even the tornado threat with this one isn't super high. It looks like on reflectivity like it would be rotating really well, but it's not. The hook echo is impressive, though, so it could start any time now. So again, there's your rotating supercell. Now near Staunton. Again, if you're in Staunton or Brazil, seek shelter now. As well as our storm up here near Michigan that's still tornado warning. That one is pretty concerning. Near Berrien Springs right now, it's rotating pretty decently. Seek shelter in Berrien Springs. Everywhere southwest of that, though, at this point, you're good. You're still technically in the tornado warning, but the rotation and even the storm entirely is actually kind of past you guys. If you're southwest of, areas like Bridgman, or just straight south of Bridgman, at this point, it's just raining for you guys. I think what I am going to do here, you guys, is since we don't have any storms that are rotating that impressively, and I'm definitely going to have to go live later, I'm going to go ahead and end off the stream here. I do want to thank you all for tuning in. It's been pretty active thus far, and it will continue to be. So, again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.